Hey there, this is Ethan James, and this is my video on my breathing thing that I've had going on for a while. My breathing thing kind of starts before I get to the breathing problem, but I would wake up when I was like 12 in the middle of the night, just like yelling and crying, and my dad ran in, he prayed with me. But the reason why I was yelling and crying was because I woke up and I couldn't open up my jaw all the way without it going like falling or clicking or it was almost kind of like sliding out of place. And what I would find out is that's called TMJ or lockjaw. And I would go on to have that up until my 20s. Like probably 20 is probably when it stopped, actually. Or no, 2021 is kind of when it started to go away. Anyway, all that time is kind of a vague, very cloudy. I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of the chronic inflammation and not breathing correctly. What I would try and discover before that, even that I would notice that it was hard to breathe. Like every breath felt like I was trying to catch the wave, and I would always miss the wave. And then even if I got close, it still wouldn't be a full satisfying breath. And I was a smoker. I'd gotten into smoking, and I never really did the full breathe it in, all that sort of thing, because I didn't want to breathe it in. I always kind of held my nose around different places. Like there's just plenty of things I just didn't want to breathe in. Even now, I'm just very careful about the smells that I breathe in, the areas that I'm in. Like if they have chemicals, I just don't do it. But I think I trained myself to not breathe through my nose properly. I didn't know how to breathe. Actually, people would make fun of me for saying, "Oh, you don't know how to breathe, right?" Blah, blah, blah. But mouth breathing and talking about mouth breathing was still a thing. And so I would start to do some research because I was thinking nobody should feel this way. Like this is not normal. God did not design people out the gate to feel like this. And so there, in my mind, there was like, there's got to be a baseline. There's got to be like a level of copaceticness to life, and I had a lot of anxiety. Like I'd my heart would race like crazy. Even now, it feels like now that I can breathe through my nose, the sensation is kind of like the enlargement of my heart. Like there wouldn't be a time where I could just speak to you even this like uh, clearly and relaxed. And I'm very relaxed right now, but it's also, you can notice that I'm like, whenever I need to breathe, as I'm talking as fast as I know that I like talking as fast as I know my brain can work and get across the idea in a clear and decisive way. I need to be breathing in constantly like that. And I wouldn't do that before. Even now, so I still have to kind of like wait because my brain wants to go faster and get the words out, but my body hasn't reached that full openness and relaxedness. So what I do basically, and this is my own technique as like feeling kind of, it's not totally my own actually. There's a lady named Catalina Stroff who, to get ahead of the story, what she would do is she would inhale her through her nose and she would inflate her lungs like a balloon, and she would lay on different pieces of furniture. And what she effectively did was cure herself of scoliosis, and she was able to replicate that and cure other people with scoliosis to the point where the German body of medicine at the time, where she was when she was alive and where she was at, finally recognized it as a technique to use. And this is all in James Nestor's book. So for me, the way that I describe it is I take a full intake of breath as high as it'll go. Like even still, I need to hold that breath for even longer, push it out in through my jaw, and it would open up my jaw. A sign of mouth breathing is malocclusion, which I have a little bit. That's something that's also in James Nestor's book, but basically it's whenever you don't use your nose and you're not getting the full intake, that your mouth closes off your lungs early, and it causes a recessed jaw. So, I mean, you just look at a lot of people and you see that facial structure. And poor breathing is also associated with non-symmetrical facial features. So like people with strong jaws and like parallel or like symmetrical faces, those people have better breathing. So you can look all this stuff up. The Native Americans are actually known for having bigger jaws, like and stronger jaws. And what they used to do with their kids is they believed it was their kid was inhaling a bad spirit if they were breathing through their mouth in their sleep. So they would cover their mouths in their sleep. So very interesting. There's a lot of stuff to it. I would definitely pick up James Nestor's Breath, and then also The Oxygen Advantage by Patrick Gowan. So this has helped me really be able to like rein in how fast my heart beats sometimes, because I'm actually able to like feel like the vitality of life rather than shrinking away in certain areas. And even still, there's still like plenty of opening up, and it's caused a lot of self-consciousness because I've known that I've been able to do something much better, and then still felt like I was being held back by something unnatural to me. Even now, you can't just sort of do this in front of people too, you know? So part of the self-conscious thing is like, I feel like, okay, well, my mouth would just stop working, and I know that, okay, what it needs to do is like fully open and relax, but you can't just go in front of people usually, unless you want to look like a psycho. And I'm self-conscious. I don't want to look like a psycho, you know? And so I've talked to people about this, like my pains and whatnot. But I guess back to sort of what I'm doing is I'll breathe, take a full intake like Catalina, and then I push the air as deep as it'll go for as long as it will go. And then I just let it ease through my body and evenly push the full weight of my body equally across the ground into a relaxed place. Usually what I find is I get to a certain point, and then there's a part of my body that's just like, nope, don't want to do that. And so I got to stretch it out all the way and then do the same thing, get to a certain point, and it's like it gets to a funky, my body doesn't know what to do next to relax, and I just have to, and then it just kind of drops in the way that it should go. Oh, but now that just feels so clean. It feels like a full breath. I never used to feel this way. I mean, smoking was a big problem with it, and also vaping caused a big problem with it. It just actually make my brain feel hot, and you know the coughing would show up, but it was more in like headaches. Like I almost felt like right before a fever was coming on when I was vaping. So those are not good for your breathing, obviously. But yeah, if you have a similar issue and you want to know more about this stuff, that I really feel like God has used it to help me. Like it's in Scripture, even Genesis 2:7. It says God breathed the breath of life into man's nostrils. So I mean, it's the most instinctive thing that we do, and it's the most instinctive thing we do, and it's the most like natural thing to do. It's the first thing that we do. And I just kind of got derailed almost on a thought with talking about earlier. The popping that you hear when sometimes it comes with it is built up cartilage that is just whenever it's separating the vertebrae and the muscles, the popping, all it is just that nitrogen gas pocket. And so when that pops, it's just an indicator that those things have separated. And so the next step in my mind is that now it needs to be set straight and pressed in the right direction or relaxed in the right direction. Don't want to make an assertion about that. It's just, it should naturally be able to move in the right place easily. When's the last time you took a big breath like that through your nose and it just filled your lungs, and then you just held it for a moment and then laid your head back and relax and then look up to God and just give him thanks for life? So I got an example of the popping and some of it in this video that I took beforehand. I take off my shirt, all right, but I don't show my nipples, so this is just for science. I may put it in there, may leave it out. But yeah, there's so much more to this topic that I can't cover all in one time, you know, unless I were to do a really big video with all the resources there available. And I'd love to do that, but I just don't really have the time. This is about as much time as I have is to talk to the camera, one take, and then post it. So I got a buddy coming over that is going to film something with me, and then I'll have to actually edit that a bit more because it's for the podcast. And yeah, there's just so much going on with work and then cleaning the house and restoring things. So I just really want to get this out here. This is something that I wanted to talk about for a long time because you almost feel crazy, going through these sensations and like, and you just kind of like push through and try and ignore it. But it just like, it causes so many like small little blurp, like little, just like blurps in my life that keep me from like full authenticity, and then kind of like bring me down and make me sad because I don't feel like it's chronic pain. It's chronic dysmorphia, and so I'm not the only one that has this. And so I'm hoping that me talking about this, somebody else might be encouraged to look deeper into it and inspire something. Also, I'm free and available for testing. So if you want to test on me, you have to pay me, but and it has to be ethical, of course. But like, I would love to be somebody's test subject for this, so that way I could, figure out more about it and maybe turn it into some kind of therapy. Just throwing that out there into the wind. Maybe somebody will hear it. All right. That's pretty much it. That's what I want to talk about for now. So thank you for listening.